Well, hello everybody and welcome back to F1 Manager. My name is Aaron and, well, we are going to be diving into some Alpine F1 Manager today, where I can only use the Alpine contracted junior drivers. So this is going to be round 2 of, well, hopefully a lot. In short, I'll just turn the audio up so it's not so quiet for everybody. There we go, we get some nice game sounds again. I haven't quite found a way to turn the intro music, to split the intro music from the game music. Yeah, so it's just a little bit of a teething problem. I'll just move my mic a little bit closer to me as well, so I'm coming through loud and clear for you all. Hello to everyone in the chat, and the question for the stream is a quite simple one, a quite straightforward one. It's who are you managing in F1 Manager? I of course am doing this Alpine save with you, and I'm also doing one with Haas, and I'll explain a little bit more about that shortly. But let's get stuck in then to Alpine. I'm also actually going to move my camera down here because we don't really need to be able to see the I'll just resize it as well, cut a little bit of that TV screen off. Might just take a little bit of adjustment. Let's do that. There we go. There we go. That's a bit better. So we are at round 2. We are third in the constructors. If you missed the first episode, you can watch the the first stream. You can watch the full stream on YouTube. It's up there now. I think you can find it on Twitch as well. It may be within the 7-day retention period. But there was a quite dramatic finish where Esteban Ocon, who had been running in P5 for a long time, spun on the final lap, which allowed Fernando Alonso through and also Lewis Hamilton. So we lost a couple of points there, but we have started the season really well with a 5th and a 7th. We're third in the constructors, 16 points on the board, 4 ahead of Mercedes. Haas and Alfa Romeo are there. Alfa Romeo are quite potent, actually, I found, on this game, especially with Valtteri Bottas. He seems to pop up in all sorts of weird and wonderful places. So let's head to our inbox and see what's happening. We've got an up-and-coming driver in Frederick Vesti who we could scout, but we can't use him because he's a Mercedes Junior. So the 4 available drivers to us, outside of Alonso and Ocon, and, well, perhaps Piastri, I assume he's going to McLaren. We haven't heard about his contract recognition board outcome. So let's sort by championship, and we'll go down to Formula 2. Jack Doohan. I found this the other day. We can bookmark the drivers. So we've got Jack Doohan, Ollie Caldwell in Formula 2. And if we go down to Formula 3, we also have where are they? Where have they ended up? There we go. Caio Collet of Brazil and Frenchman Victor Martins. If I'm honest, I'm favouring Victor Martins at some point because he's French and we are racing as a French team. And Jack Doohan is especially interesting to me because I think he's really exciting, not just in the game but in real life as well. He had a superb weekend at Spa with a podium and a feature race victory, so perhaps he's the junior driver that Alpine actually get to use all along. If he keeps driving the way he is and the driver market stays as wide open as it appears to be at the moment, could Jack Doohan sneak in through the door at Alpine? Who knows? So we've got suspension manufactured as well. This happens in every save because I also started to save with Aston Martin, and I soon changed my mind about it. So we're exceeding expectations. Excellent. It's the first time I've seen that message so far in any save that I've gone through. So we'll just head over to the warehouse. No, we'll head over to the car development, and we will start manufacturing these bits of suspension. We'll manufacture 4, and there we go. And we can start designing some bits and pieces. So what's really handy is if you just press E there, it shows us the rank of all the different bits of where our car is. So that's super helpful. We're struggling on low speed, which is helpful because the next track we're going to, as you can see, crucial, medium speed and high speed. Top speed is very helpful too. So low speed is where it's at for us in terms of what we need to improve. So we're going to just wind this clock up, and we're going to throw some performance runs, wind tunnel hours at this. And this is a front wing we are going to design, and we're going to improve. We can improve our low speed up to first if we so wish. So let's just give everything a bit of a boost. High speed as well, because you get a lot of high speed stuff. So we want to be able to perform well at circuits like Silverstone. And we'll throw the 5 available engineers at that. So that will come in at the end of April in terms of the design. And then we can manufacture that. We can also design something else. So let's design a rear wing to go with it, I think. So let's do another 1.5 CFD hours, and we'll do another 22 wind tunnel hours. There we go. So we can improve low speed. And we'll just give everything a little bit of a bump. Yeah, but I think drag reduction should be something we look at there in the DRS delta. There you go. So maybe do that. It's all a little bit of experimentation. 4 available engineers. Throw them on that. Lovely stuff. Okay, so we don't need to manage the build of the car. Everything will be the same. Let's head to Jeddah. Oh, we've upgraded the race simulator. There we go. Facilities. Let's go to operations. We haven't got a boardroom or anything. Staff facilities. That's what I wanted. A team hub. So this will actually increase the experience your staff gain. So the drivers gain experience through races, and it'll improve the morale of everybody, which is really important because I think, and like I said in the previous stream, it's basically going to be morale manager, because if you've got a happy team and happy drivers, they're going to perform better. So let's do that. Let's build that. That's only £800,000 or dollars, and that can be built in 2 weeks. There we go. Race simulator upgrade complete. Let's continue, and we'll go to our race preparation. Let's set some targets. Minimum qualifying position of 8th with at least 1 driver. Actually, I think we can achieve that. No, actually, I think we didn't make the top 8 in qualifying. Let's just go reach Q3 in a sensible aim. Finish position, finish in at least 8th place. Let's go for that. We'll lose $34,000 if we don't get it, but if we do achieve it, we gain 137,000. So that's helpful in a hot streak. Qualify 10th or higher 3 races in a row. Let's go with that as well. Okay, so let's go to Jeddah. Now, through my little playthroughs with Aston Martin and now Haas, I feel like I found quite an efficient way to manage practice. So I'll set up the setup here. We'll just throw some stuff at it. Let's do that for Fernando, and then you need roughly sort of 20 laps. I know it starts with 15 laps, but that's not always enough to get the feedback that you need. So we'll do that for Ocon probably needs a little bit more traction. There we go. I'll do it. And then tyre camber there, and the toe out. There we go. So basically what I do is I set my setups for practice 1, and then I set my run plans. We actually manage practice 1 and practice 2. So
radio check.
Send out Alonso. In fact, is that Ocon? That is Alonso. There we go. And then I just sit back and put it on times 16 and let them do their thing. And now, while they're doing that, I can talk to you. And of course, we're midway through the first week between races of a triple header. So we had the Belgian Grand Prix last weekend. We're going to Zandvoort this weekend. So it's midway through the week of that. And of course, Max Verstappen is probably the hot favourite again, heading to his home race in Zandvoort, where he was dominant last year as well. First time chatter, we've got how are you finding the game, mini game of setup? I'm enjoying it. Yeah, it's really, really good. JDG, sorry, the screen on my laptop is dim to save the battery. Yeah, I'm finding the mini game of setup quite interesting, because it's quite easy to just think, oh, practice, just simulate through it and it'll do it for me. It does do it for you, but I've actually managed to achieve high 90s of setup confidence for certain drivers. And here we go. So
balance update when you can. Balance update.
We've got a balance update, and Ocon is not happy with the car.
Copy that.
So we'll bring him in. And it's all just trial and error. And Alonso also not happy.
Very bad.
Not one to mince his words, Fernando. So what we can do here is we can then look at where we're going wrong, obviously, and so we need more traction, which we can achieve by doing this. So let's try that. So we need a little bit less front wing angle, maybe. There we go. Braking stability was good. Okay, the cornering has changed dramatically now. Let's maybe wanted a bit more. Let's try that. So yeah, it's just a little bit of trial and error. How long have we got? 12 laps on the tyres. So we'll just stick a set of mediums on it. I'm always clicking the wrong arrow there. And we'll just send Esteban out again, and we'll then have a look at Fernando. His setup was even worse, but we've got the cornering optimal. So with the front wing, we will go up. We can then bring that down again. Yeah, it's a little bit deeper than what you're saying there. It's because it's taken me a little while to work out. Like, you change the front wing and you think, oh, you've got the oversteer, but then you change the rear wing and it goes all out of kilter. So we're trying to keep this cornering in the optimal range, because Alonso's happy with that. We need to improve the traction and the braking stability and the straights. There we go. So if we do that, maybe that will help. If we then just change the anti-roll distribution. So yeah, I mean, once you get to know the car, I think it probably helps if you've got good engineers within the team that you're choosing. Since there's only 2 that affect the straights, don't touch them. Yeah, I mean, it is trial and error. You've got to try and work out what it is. And what's also confusing is the whole minimum and maximum thing. So it doesn't actually tell you. I feel like that's a bit ambiguous. So it doesn't actually tell you whether that is suitable. So if that's improving, going faster, or is it slower. So I suppose you've got the figures on the left-hand side for the wing angles, but I feel there could be a little bit more sort of a user interface there that tells you a little bit more about what each setup is actually going to do in terms of different things. But that's still something very small for a first-time game, which is really, really impressive. Yeah, I've taken some photos of the setups that have been pretty good, and then I'll change a couple of parameters, and then at least I know what the settings were. I can always go back to them. But we'll try not to do that here. I feel like I'm getting a good grasp on it. So it's not, as we always say, practice times don't really mean anything. So this is a good opportunity to just fiddle around with setup. There we go.
Update when you can. Balance update.
We've got a great setup on Ocon. He's much happier.
Okay, mate. Copy that.
We'll just wait for Alonso's little speech bubble here to top up to 5. And there you go.
And how was the balance?
He's much happier than before. So it's a good balance. So that could be anything between sort of 60 and 70, I suppose.
Okay, understood.
And we'll just keep them running around until the end of their stints here, and then we'll bring them in. Yeah, sometimes it's worth compromising something that's optimal to make sure everything else gets to sort of great. If you can get everything to a good and great, then you've got a setup confidence that's about 80-85%. If you get 2 or 3 optimals, then you get you get sort of north of 90%. We'll just have Alonso attack there, and we'll finish our session in the pit lane, and we are 10th and 11th in first practice. Norris has had a spin. Let's see some of the on-track action. I have turned Crofty off. He does my head in real life. I'm not sitting here listening to him with his scripted, repeated, everything is the same commentary.
It's a good session all in all, I think. Still learned a lot.
And to be fair, even the engineers, they say the same thing, and the drivers' responses are the same. So maybe that's something that we can improve on. Ocon, we've got 95% confidence in the setup. Alonso only 54%. But literally, this is what practice is for. So we'll just leave Ocon where he is. Traction is bad, so we'll do that. There we go. Braking stability. Hopefully that's going in the right direction as well. And straights was bad, so we need to bring that up. There we go. And then maybe the braking stability, we can just 3.4. There we go. And then we'll just take a little bit of front wing out, but then the cornering is affected. So we'll just leave that there, and then we'll try and get that cornering back to the green. Yeah, that will do, I think. That'll do. Yeah, it is a bit of a hunt, isn't it? It's a bit like Easter when you're trying to find all the chocolate eggs that have been hidden around the house. So let's put let's stick a set of softs on it. Medium. Actually, no, we'll put a set of hards on, especially for Ocon because he's got all that confidence. So we'll just do a load of laps on the hard tyres. What if anything could we improve? I'm not touching it. I'm not touching it. Very happy with that plan. So let's go to practice 2 and let's see what happens. Let's manage this practice session. Actually, we're going to put Alonso on a set of hards as well. Now we can go to practice. Here we go.
Radio check, radio check.
Yeah, I think the higher the confidence of the driver, the more they're going to get the experience because they'll be more consistent with their driving. It'll suit them better. They'll be happy. So then you can build on what they want to do. We've got a yellow in Sector 1. We've had a crash on the track. I've had a red flag.
Yellow flag.
In Saudi Arabia, actually, with my Haas save. So let's have a look at Daniel Ricciardo. He is going to crash, spinning off and into the barrier. The crash model could certainly be improved. It's a little bit it's a little bit explosive, I think. So then have all the bonus, and I'm not trying to maximise the setup more than I need to. Yeah, I mean, I think if you've got a 90 to 95% range of setup confidence, then the driver will be happy and they'll collect the experience. But you've got to factor in as well, I think, the experience or the growth potential of the driver. So that also multiplies it all by the factor and everything. No, I didn't do anything for Ocon because 95% setup confidence, everything was great or optimal, so I decided that just don't touch it, because if you, well, you can always revert, but you might as well get his track acclimatization up because he's probably going to be a bit happier with that setup. Also less time consuming. Yep, those bonus points are going to add up.
How's the balance?
And here we go, Alonso with a great setup confidence.
Okay, copy that.
And yeah, so we can just let them run and run. They've got 33 kilograms of fuel. We can always, they're on the hard tyres, so we could always go a little bit more aggressive and see. Alonso's locked up. They're actually running together there on the track. No! Check the data, boys. Check the data. Let's skip that. There he goes. Alright. Let's see how they do. Drive around wide. Yeah. And the frustrating thing is, if you have got the confidence of the setup sorted now, I mean, there's only one thing left to do in a moment, which so I'm actually going to call them both in early. And we're going to go on a bit of a glory run. We're going to take some fuel out, and we're going to stick soft tyres on the car. Yeah, it can be a bit vague when they say it's a great setup. Let's have a look at the confidence here. 85% for Alonso, but that's fine. Anything above 80 is, the driver can deal with it. The straights we could probably just improve by doing that. I mean, that's probably the only thing we can change. So we're going to take a little bit of fuel out, a lot of bit of fuel. We're going to stick fresh soft tyres on, and Fernando can have his day absolutely made by going on a flying lap. So what I do here is I send them out, hopefully not into traffic, so I'll do conserve, we'll do harvest, and we'll just have a little bit of fun here. ERS is fully charged. Let's turn Ocon down as well, make sure he's harvesting.
Okay, we'd like you to slow down, please. Copy.
Slow down. Can never tell a Formula One driver to slow down. So what we'll do here is we'll speed it up a little bit. When Alonso gets towards the final corner, we'll pause. No, misclick. Turn it up to aggressive. I don't want him to go too hard. We'll put it on balanced, and we'll put it on deploy. No, we'll put it on overtake, because of course you don't want to show your hand. Ocon is not quite there yet. Set a yellow flag, and then Ocon, we can do the same. He's on balance already. We'll put it on overtake, and then we can watch as the purple sectors come in. Alonso, green first sector, green middle sector, and he goes 5th fastest. So of course we could have done a bit more. So that's a bit of a quali run, and then we'll call the cars in. I can simulate there. They're in lap, And then we'll just throw a little bit more fuel in it. And then we send them out. So as long as once they're happy with the setup, I can do the soft tyre run and just see sort of where we filter out in the order. And then there's just 20 minutes left to run at times 16 speed, and just see how the session ends up. Oh, we're still
Okay.
in there, so we'll do that and that. This does happen from time to time. I do
Recharge on.
forget to adjust the driver settings.
Maybe drop
So
back a
there we
little
go.
bit, please.
Okay.
There we go. Alonso not happy about dropping back. Who'd have thought? So JDG, how did you find this channel? Where did you come across my channel? As I said, it'd be helpful to know where people are finding me, so I know where to also find new viewers and people to share my work with, because I don't just do this, I do a podcast, I'm a writer as well, so all about Formula One, of course, and I cover Formula 2, so that's why I have a little bit of an inside on the go knowledge of Jack Doohan's performances. But yeah, just be good to know how you found me. As practice comes to an end.
All okay on the car from your side?
Yeah, Alonso's still happy with the car.
Very good.
Happy.
Happy.
A couple of minutes left then. And then it'll be on to qualifying. Ricardo is... oh, of course he crashed, didn't he?
Yeah,
tyres.
the same, a little bit of poor traction
Ricardo
now.
crashed, didn't he? That's why he's 8.5
Traction
minutes
issues.
slower than everybody else. Okay,
so
session is over.
Do we need to undercut someone or overcut or something?
And let's... so we've got 94%. There we go. 94 and 95%. We've got 14 out of 15 performance boosts. So that gives a boost to the performance over the weekend. Lovely stuff. And we can move on to... we'll just simulate this. Practice 3, there we go. And into qualifying. No risk of rain, unsurprisingly. So how many sets? We've got 3 sets of soft tyres. That's, I suppose, the only thing you can probably do if you did practice 3 and you sat through that as well. You could make sure you have plenty of soft tyres available, but you can get through it. The game sort of manages your tyres sensibly for you. So off we go then. Manage Q1. Let's see if we can... Well, I'm aiming for at least Q3. We got Alonso into Q3
Radio check.
in Bahrain,
Right.
and Ocon was 12th on the grid. So let's see. We are going to not worry about reconfiguring. We're just going to send Alonso out. Off it goes, and we'll send Ocon as well. I don't bother watching on board with the first laps because it's all going to change anyway. So we'll just whiz through this. There's a little bit of traffic for Ocon. It's the Mercedes of Hamilton, I think, that was there. Yeah, and it cost him 0.6 of a second. We are 0.8 to Perez, who is fastest. And traffic is an absolute nightmare on this game. The AI just don't know how to get out of the way. I had a race earlier at Imola. We had a late safety car, and I think the last 4 drivers were all a lap down to even me, and they were all just sort of getting in the way. They didn't know how to get out of the way. It was quite frustrating, actually, rather than like weird or anything. It was just incredibly frustrating because you're hoping to get a run on the cars ahead of you. I had fresh softs on Mick Schumacher and he was chasing Ricciardo, but it took me 4.5 laps to get past Ricciardo because it took us so long to get past the back markers at the restart. So anyway, we are almost set to go on our final lap of Q1. So we'll send Alonso out first, and followed by Esteban. We'll have plenty of time to get around the lap. And we will ride on board with Esteban. And then what we'll do here, we'll pop the sectors for everybody there, so we can see who's going fast and who's not. I think we're probably safe, but Russell and Hamilton will improve. Norris will improve. I don't think he'll be quick enough to get through us. But yeah, I mean, Alonso currently P5, Magnussen currently P6. So we're actually best of the rest after the first runs. Verstappen, Perez, Leclerc and Sainz, the top 4, unsurprisingly. So here we go with Esteban Ocon. A double speed lap of the mighty fast Jeddah Corniche circuit. And I believe we were the last driver over... No, we're not the last driver over the line. There's a couple of cars behind us, including the 2 Haas cars. Leclerc's fastest in the first sector. Alonso does a personal best, as does Ocon. Leclerc absolutely flying. 2 purple sectors from him. We won't be catching him anytime soon. So here is Fernando. What's he done? We've got the session end. Alonso, second green sector as well for Ocon. And we've got some improvements going on. So Norris has jumped ahead of Ocon. Tsunoda's up ahead as well into 11th. Hamilton and Russell both improving. Alonso is 7th. He'll be comfortably safe. But let's see what he can achieve here. He stays 7th, I think. And Ocon goes 8th. Okay. So that's helpful. Oh, Bottas nipping in there right at the end to go 8th fastest. See what I mean? He just appears. I mean, Zhou Guan Yu is not that far behind. He's only... Oh, he's actually in the same 10th bracket. Look at that. 4 drivers all on a 30.3 and then Magnussen on a 30.4. So that's going to be mighty close to get into Q2, which starts now. Let's do qualifying 2, and we'll do a first run on the
Radio check.
on one of the sets of tyres from
I think it's okay.
Q1. And then we'll do, so yeah, we'll use that set for Esteban. Just change the tyres. Okay, will we get into Q2? Let's have a look. So we'll just, again, the first run I always just run in this map mode. And again, a Mercedes getting in the way. Interestingly, Ocon goes a little bit quicker on slightly more worn tyres, but I think everybody else was probably on fresher rubber. So we will reconfigure the car, and by reconfigure I mean just change those round black things that are on the side of them. Okay. So try and wait as long as possible as well. Again, go out sort of towards the back. The risk, of course, with that is a yellow flag. And here we go. So we'll send Alonso first, and then Ocon second. So we've got plenty of clear air ahead. We're currently 12th and 13th, but we are on a brand new set of tyres, ready to set our fast laps. So we'll just fast forward here. And let's join the double world champion Fernando Alonso on board. And again, we'll get the sectors up so we can see what everybody's doing. Leclerc again absolutely acing the first sector. A lot of green first sectors from the drivers ahead of us. Leclerc not having such a good middle sector. Green first sector for Alonso, a personal best from him. It's a good start. Ocon as well with a personal best. how is the middle sector? We're riding on board, of course, with Fernando Alonso, Yuki Tsunoda, the man in trouble in 10th. Ricciardo has failed to get out, and there is a definite opportunity here for us. We'll just slow it down. Alonso is down to 14th. Hamilton will be one of the next cars over the line, and he goes up to 5th. So can we depose Zhou Guanyu and Kevin Magnussen to get both our cars into Q3? Alonso goes 8th, so Magnussen is eliminated. What about Ocon? He goes 9th. We have both cars into Q3. So a much better qualifying than in Bahrain, where we only got one car into the top 10. We have bumped Zhou Guanyu and Kevin Magnussen out. We were comfortable by, well, for Fernando it was by 3/10. For Ocon it was only by a 10th. So let's stick not a brand new set. Let's stick that set on for Fernando. It's a strange phenomenon I found as well with the older tyres in qualifying. You seem to be able to do a relatively good lap time with them. The thing that hurts your lap time most is traffic.
Radio check.
So we'll just
Landing
send
clear.
them out first. There we go. And again, off we go. So Alonso again a couple of tenths quicker than Ocon. It just seems to be the trend within the team. And now we can reconfigure. Stick on that final set of fresh, soft Pirellis. So again, just going to try and time it so we are at the back. So everyone tends to go out a little bit early. You get there is enough time from about 2 minutes 15, 2 minutes roughly, and we'll get plenty of clear air. So we'll send the cars out now. Ocon can have a little bit of a tow. So a 29.0 from Leclerc, and Sainz just 66 thousandths behind. The two Red Bulls, they must have got completely shafted with the traffic. They are 9th and 10th. Wouldn't that be a laugh if they got stuck down there in qualifying? So they're using old tyres again. We're the only cars on fresh, soft tyres. Interestingly enough. Okay. Winding it up for the final run in Q3. Here we go with Fernando Alonso. Ocon just behind. We're currently 6th and 7th. Where are we going to end up? Can we break into the top 5? Probably not, but you know, stranger things have happened. Alonso through the S's and to the end of Sector 1 with a personal best. Ocon does not do a personal best, at least for this session. Leclerc absolutely smashing it. He's already on pole he's already ahead of his teammate. Verstappen goes 2nd. What about Alonso's middle sector? It's a personal best as well. Ocon also with a personal best. Can we maybe get ahead of Bottas? Or between Bottas and Russell? Here comes Fernando Alonso then. DRS open. And he stays 8th. What about Ocon? He is 9th fastest. So we haven't got ahead of a Mercedes or Bottas, but we have beaten Pierre Gasly. Small victories. So we're ready to race in Jeddah. So, strategy. I think start on the mediums and then move to the hard tyres. We went long with Ocon in Bahrain, so maybe we could do we could do opposites. No, let's just keep them on the same strategy, and then we'll do that. Will turn everything up. So we've got 96% and 95% confidence now in the setups. So that's really helpful. Right. I think we're ready to race. The hour is now. And here come the 5 red lights in Saudi Arabia. And it's go. It looks like a good start from Verstappen there. We, of course, are looking back at the 2 blue cars. And it looks like Alonso is up the inside for 7th. He's wheel to wheel with George Russell. And I think we have got ahead of the Mercedes. Bottas is ahead of Hamilton, and this is well, here we go again. Alonso and Hamilton on the first lap. Will they come to blows this time, just like in Belgium? Having a look, and Ocon is right on the tail of George Russell, and Bottas is best of the rest behind the Ferraris and Red Bulls. So we'll turn them down to neutral and standard on the tyres. We'll keep pushing on the fuel for a bit. It's really bizarre, this fuel system. I'm sure this is a bug because you've got the same amount of fuel and it's just jumped from 0.3 plus 0.3 laps to a whole lap. I'm sure it doesn't fluctuate quite that much. Ocon has overtaken George Russell. Let's have a look at that. Here we go on the exit of turn 2 through the kink of 3. It gives us the inside line for turn 4. We were ahead even by then, and George Russell has backed out of it completely. So we'll turn that down. We've got a yellow in sector 1. Who could that have been? It's Albon locking up at the back. Where's Ocon? He's right on the tail of
DRS enabled this lap.
Alonso, and DRS now enabled. So what tyres has everyone else started on? So we've got Perez and Bottas ahead of us on the hard tyres. So Hamilton really needs to get a wriggle on and pass the Alfa Romeo. But I think the Alfa is probably a bit quicker in a straight line. Further back we've got Russell is on hards as well, so look out for him later in the race. Magnussen as well. Going long seems to be a way to really get yourself into a good position, as I showed last time with Ocon. Excuse me. Hamilton all over the back of his former teammate. And we've got Ocon right on the... Well, he's just having a watching brief at the moment. Everyone from Bottas backwards is separated between each other, one to the other, by less than a second, although Gasly's just dropped a second off of Russell. So we can ride on board with Ocon here. Just in the wheel tracks of our teammate Fernando Alonso. He seems to be using up his tyres a little bit quicker than Ocon is. He went to 89 just before Ocon's. I know he's right behind him, but you'd assume it'd be roughly the same point. DRS now activated, so expect to see some overtakes. And what tends to happen is the guy in front here, Bottas, will probably just get swamped by 2 or 3 cars at once. Here you go. Exactly. 3 cars even. Ocon up the inside almost. Can we get the traction out of the corner? We'll have the inside line. So Hamilton now is the man in trouble. He's got to try and break away from us at the head of this train. So 2 positions gained in 1 straight for the Alpine team. Really nice stuff. Well done, boys. Keep going. It'd be really helpful, Fernando, if you could use all of your talent right now and pass Lewis Hamilton. Let's see. Let's go to overtake. Here we go, down the outside. DRS, of course, assisted. What about Ocon? What's he up to? He's not there yet. So we'll push on this lap to try and break the DRS. Let's go to an off-board camera. There we go. But it's very difficult to break the DRS unless you've got a fundamentally faster car. We're just edging away a little bit. We're 3/4 of a second ahead. Yeah, it's not really worked out, has it? So we'll just go back to neutral. We'll probably, yeah, we're going to lose out here to Hamilton. Ocon is under pressure from Bottas. He has DRS. Hamilton retakes the position from Alonso. So it's very tricky to break the DRS, as you can see. We lose the position to the Mercedes. But that's fine. We'll just retake it again on the next lap, because this game just seems to love DRS trains where the drivers just endlessly swap positions. It's the way that the programming is. The DRS is just so powerful and so difficult to get away from. There you go. See, we're bang in position again. He's actually closed his DRS early there. And we're up the inside. We'll get the DRS. We've just been checked up a little bit. And I think we might be seeing... Well, Alonso's got back up the inside again. Very, very close. That was brave stuff on lap 8. I mean, well, we did get past and we couldn't break clear, but I wonder if we could break clear. Could we maybe pull a gap that would really put Mercedes on the back foot? I mean, both our drivers are on the same strategy as Hamilton, but Hamilton has looked after his tyres a little bit better. So let's... Well, it's just cars everywhere at the final corner. There we go. Just Jeddah things. Bottas challenging Ocon. He's down the inside. I think he'll get... No, he won't get the position. See, the thing is, if you've got DRS, that is the biggest single tool that you can defend from another driver with. So if you're in the middle of a DRS train, if you don't make the overtake, you probably won't be overtaken yourself. So we'll just follow this train one more time around this very high-speed circuit. Let's check our pit window. So it opens in 7 laps for our drivers. We've got a yellow in Sector 1. It could be Zhou Guan Yu, I think. No, it was Sonoda. Of course it was. Let's see. And he's just gone straight on at the long hairpin. And Alonso's got through. And now Ocon is getting through as well. Not quite. Hamilton not fast enough to regain the position. Can we break clear? Well, we're still in push there for Alonso on his fuel. Well, that was fine. He was using his fuel up. Let's push with Ocon, because look, plus 3.7 laps. Because we're just using DRS all the time. We don't need to be flat out, because we've just got less drag. Hamilton having a look at Alonso again. And we'll lose the position again here. Russell has got past Bottas, who's managed to reverse himself from the head of this train to the back of it in the only way that Valtteri Bottas knows how. Look, we've got the pace down the straight to just cling on even without DRS. So we are 5th and 7th. This is how we finished the first race in Bahrain. And it was the two Mercedes behind our cars as well after Ocon threw it off in the last lap, which was incredibly frustrating. Go and watch the clip. It's on YouTube. It's on here as well. So again, just hustling. It's a shame they don't keep the view like this in 4x mode. Otherwise, we could speed up a little bit more without losing sort of any action. Is Hamilton going to go past this time? No, he's not. No, I think I will speed up to ×4. Schumacher is into the pit lane. And we'll just speed up to ×8. But look, you can just see, because we're all stuck in a DRS train, there you go, Hamilton gets past this time. But we'll probably get the position back again on the next lap. Maybe Ocon will go through. Here we go. Alonso back up to P5. And then they're coming round again. Hamilton goes back through. So we're not... Oh, we've lost a lot of time there. And Ocon has now overtaken Russell. So I think what happens here is there's this strange thing. If the cars seem to check up on the outside, yeah, Alonso would have checked up there. And then Hamilton, oh, he's got the DRS, so he tears away. So I think Russell will actually go past both of our cars. Yep. Check the data, boys. The groans say it all. So where are we? So we've lost DRS to Hamilton. He's broken free. And Russell is now right on Alonso's tail. And he's about to go past, I believe. Unless Ocon can do it. No, they see he has to check up as well. Have we got the pace in the straight line? We've entered the pit window, actually. There we go. So we might be, if we could be able to undercut Hamilton. But we'd have to push the tyres. So, yeah, see if I can get these tyres to lap 20. For Alonso at least. And then we'll pit Ocon the lap after. Actually, no, do lap 19 for Alonso. And then lap 20 for Ocon. See if we can undercut Hamilton. But he's now 2 seconds ahead nearly. And Russell has gone around the outside. That was not part of the plan. And now Ocon is having a look at Alonso as well. Oh, shades of the real 2022 Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Sainz is the first man from the top 10 to go into the pit lane. He's come out right on the tail of this battle, so that's not going to do his chances of undercutting anybody any good at all. So if you're just joining, we are doing an Alpine Juniors only, where we can use Alpine Junior drivers only. We've got Alonso in 6th and Ocon in 7th at the moment. We were chasing Lewis Hamilton, but he has since broken free, and we've been overtaken by George Russell. But Fernando Alonso retakes the position. Beautiful move from the Spaniard. And Ocon right on the tail as well. Carlos Sainz getting in on the action now. He's going past the Alpha of Bottas. Verstappen pits. So we're going to try and do one more lap after this one with Alonso, and then lap 20 is when I want to bring Ocon into the pits. Let me know in the chat who you've been playing as on F1 Manager 2022. This is my Twitch save that I'm doing. I'm also using Haas at the moment as a bit of a personal playthrough, and that's going alright. We're doing okay. We're regularly on the fringes of the top 10. We've got a point so far this season. But of course this save started off very strongly with a 5th and 7th. So optimal pit stop lap. Let's bring Alonso in for hard tyres. And we will ignore that one.
Okay,
We will attack.
boxing this lap.
Push.
Okay, box.
Yeah, box, Fernando. Hamilton has actually pitted, so he got in first. And, well, we'll just have to overcut him, I suppose. Has he come out in traffic? He's 3 seconds behind Magnussen, so maybe he'll get stuck behind the Haas. Sainz has overtaken Ocon, but that's fine. Actually, it's less fine because he's dropped off the back of the train in terms of DRS. Yeah, so he's going to be a sitting duck now for Bottas and Verstappen behind. So Alonso's coming in. In comes the double world champion. Let's see where we're going to end up in terms of Hamilton. Hamilton is here, I believe. Well, we feed out to the exit of turn 2, so we might just be able to steal it. No, we're actually well behind. We've got a yellow flag in sector 2. So sector 1 now. Perez is locked up and gone wide. And let's bring Ocon. Actually, we'll get another lap out of Ocon. And he's fended off Bottas. He's fending off Verstappen. And as I say that, the Red Bull driver goes through. So of course he does. And here comes Bottas. But Ocon will pick up the DRS again. So we'll go attack. We're on push already. We'll call him in to the pit lane for those hard tyres. He gets 2 extra laps of fresh rubber versus Alonso, who is still 2.5 seconds behind Hamilton. But that's okay, because Hamilton will get stuck in traffic now behind Magnussen, hopefully. And then we can close the gap that way. So just keep your eye on that gap there. Currently 2.7 seconds. Ocon still battling with Verstappen. Of course, they've had their tangles in the past. Brazil 2018 and all that. Let's bring everything down. Ready for the pit stop. The camera angle cut and we lost the sound there for a second. Where is Ocon going to rejoin? Just behind Fernando Alonso. So we're a second apart. Could really do with some DRS actually. And we've gone to about 3 seconds behind Hamilton. So perhaps the Mercedes has just got a little bit of extra edge of pace at the moment in terms of race pace. And they're battling up ahead of Alonso. Hamilton will surely go through this time. Where is he? There he is. But no, he doesn't. So let's push up to the back of Hamilton. See if we can. Let's leave that on neutral actually. See if we can close down that gap. Let's be aggressive on the tyres. Push on the fuel. See if we can close down that gap. It's coming down. It is coming down a little bit. Just whether we can get there in time before Hamilton goes past the Haas. Ocon 1.6 behind Alonso. And Hamilton is through. Will the Haas come back at him? No, he will. So there you go. He's just going to lose time now. We will gain ground on this squabbling pair. We've got 7 seconds back from Ocon to Ricciardo. So another double points finish on the cards here as we approach half distance. Hamilton just goes right round the outside of Magnussen. But he might just live to regret that one because the Haas will pick up DRS. So we'll just bring the fuel down now. So only Magnussen and Russell and Bottas and Perez in the top 10 have yet to stop. Magnussen now goes back ahead of Lewis Hamilton. And we are now just 1.5 seconds behind. We'll just ease off on Ocon there. We'll allow Alonso to use his tyres a bit more, I think. See if we can reach the promised land of DRS. Magnussen still hanging with the Mercedes. This is kind of what you see a lot. You see cars with older tyres just hanging on with DRS lap after lap after lap, and it creates these sort of battles, which aren't necessarily realistic, but very useful in game. So now we've got within DRS, so we'll ease back on the tyres. So I see Alonso's now 5% lower on his tyres than Ocon is. And now Ocon is 2.5 seconds behind. Hamilton is now getting away, it seems, from Magnussen. So hopefully we can get past the Haas pretty quickly. And then we can get after Hamilton. Although Magnussen's got DRS, so he'll just cruise right back up to the rear of it. We've had a crash on track. Who has crashed? Could it be Latifi?
Yellow.
It's Sebastian Vettel, but no safety car, it would seem. There you go. Strange place for them to lose it. And he's smashed his front wing into multiple pieces. And look at this. Alonso, double overtake. Whoa, we had to take a lot of curb there. But we've got one position, and Ocon is now 4 seconds off of this battle. Let's watch that again. Look at this, 3 abreast down the straight. And the way Magnussen turns in, we have to take an awful lot of curb there. And now we might just be able to get hold of 7th position. We've got another yellow in Sector 1. Tsunoda has had a spin. Yuki Tsunoda. Well, that is exactly what he did in the 2021 Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. So we've got Magnussen here, Hamilton just behind. And we should go past the Haas here. There we go. DRS getting us through. You see, Magnussen had to check up and he lost 2 seconds. So watch on the outside here. This is something in the coding. He has to just stop, and it blocks Hamilton. And now Alonso is in the clear. He's got 2.5 seconds back to Magnussen. Ocon is now only 1.5 seconds adrift of the Mercedes. And you know, this is playing beautifully into our hands. We can ride up with the front wing view. We've now got 3 seconds from Alonso to Magnussen, and Hamilton. He must be fuming with the Dane right now. Ocon within range as well. Magnussen will just probably come back past the Mercedes here. There it goes. Hamilton's race is absolutely being ruined right now by Kevin Magnussen. We'll stay on board with Esteban Ocon. 11.5 seconds back to Pierre Gasly. Just hovering outside that bubble, aren't we? Hamilton can't quite get the move done. Can we close up this time and get within the DRS? Or yes, just. So we will get DRS, and now we are very much in play with Esteban. So we could be on for a 7th and a 6th and 7th again. Well, Russell's still yet to stop. So Hamilton now ahead of Magnussen, who's yet to stop. And Ocon sending it to the inside. Lovely, lovely move. Excellent. That is what I love to see. Esteban with a fabulous overtake at the hairpin. Let's watch that again. Magnussen opens the door and Esteban walks straight through it. Beautiful. Now we've got to close the gap to Hamilton. Just bring Alonso down on his fuel. And we'll just get him to conserve his tyres a wee bit. Magnussen's come back through. Lovely. Brilliant. No, we won't be watching that again. Absolutely not. Because now that's going to allow Hamilton to get clear. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put him up into overtake and push. So hopefully we can get this thing done and then just drive away. We'll check in with Alonso in a moment. He's got 3 seconds back to Hamilton. Come on, Esteban. Here we go. Down the outside. Yeah, lovely. There we go. Position is ours. At least for now. At least for now. So Hamilton's closing the gap to Alonso, who's just looking after his tyres a little bit there. That's fine. We'll just deal with that now. We'll push on into standard. Let's have a look at the tyre wear. So Alonso and Hamilton actually on the same wear of tyres. Ocon has got a little bit extra, of course. He's got 3 laps on Hamilton, 2 laps on Alonso. Bottas and Russell now in the pit lane. And where are they going to filter out in all of this? I think we are going to get... oh no, Russell has actually overcut the lot of us. And is now on fresh medium tyres. So we won't be seeing him for the rest of the evening. Bottas out ahead of Hamilton. We've got a yellow flag. Russell has gone off. George Russell came out ahead of us and has gone off on his outlap. Locking a brake into turn 12. Avoids the wall. But hands Alonso P5 and Ocon is now up to P6. But Bottas says, thanks very much. I'll now have P5 for Alfa Romeo. But don't think so, Bottas. We're going to hang on to it for at least a little bit longer yet. Ocon is 3 seconds behind Hamilton now. He's got Russell 4 seconds adrift of him. So Alonso has got Bottas right on his tail again. This is going to be the fight to the end of the race now. We're going to be yo-yoing between being behind and ahead of Bottas, I think. There he goes. There goes the Alfa Romeo. But we'll have DRS the next time around and we'll be able to come back past. And this is the thing. If you've got track position you can just hang on in the DRS, you'll be okay. Look, we're doing basically the same lap time. I know he spent most of that lap behind us. But, well, Ocon, that's worrying. 35 flat. Might need to be a bit more aggressive with the tyres, actually, and just move his pace up a bit more. He's got some tyre in hand. Here comes Alonso. Oh, yeah, braked at just the right time to make sure he gets the DRS. Let's see, has to check up. This is the AI programming catching us out. Another yellow flag, sector 2. It was Latifi. We won't bother watching that. We've seen that all before. Let's just check Ocon's last lap. He's doing a personal best lap this time around. He did get into the 34s. Still 3/10 slower than Hamilton and Russell ahead and behind. Alonso was a 35 flat, but well, because he had to check up for Bottas. But we're still right in there with Bottas. P5 again, definitely on the cards, but at least some useful points will be coming our way. The target for the season is 4th with Alpine, and well, Alfa Romeo might be some sort of competition for that. McLaren you would expect to be opposition, but their car is sort of 8th, classified as 8th fastest, so they're always around here, just at the edges of the top 10. Here we go, another run on the DRS main straight. But Alonso not going for the move. Maybe he's just waiting for the final lap. Ocon, no one ahead really. No one behind. Nothing interesting going on with Esteban right now. We'll stick on board with Alonso. But 12 laps to go. Can we get away with being light on the tyres through here? Push. There we go. And then we get the DRS. Lovely stuff. We're going to look after the tyres though, so it doesn't matter if Bottas comes flying back past. Because we just want to look after our tyres a little bit. Hamilton still more than 2 seconds back. Ocon is starting to close that gap a little bit to Hamilton. Russell still 4 seconds adrift of the Frenchman. Gasly rounds out the top 10. Everyone's a little bit strung out, apart from Bottas and Alonso. This is where the fun's at. This is what the race director will be looking at, I'm sure. Although with the race direction this year, you're never really quite sure what they're going to be looking at. I mean, there's been some funny old cuts and stuff, and we've missed some bits of action. Bottas, does he come back past? He does not come back past this time around. And we're looking after those tyres, I hope. And we're being light on them, but we are also pushing with the fuel. So maybe that's just cancelling itself out. Verstappen's there on 52%, but he stopped early. I guess that they must be going to the end from there. They're surely not going to pit again, are they? What's the delta? We've got, well, we're 21 seconds back, so the top 3 might do it. Perez probably can't afford to. But then he's on fresher mediums, so the top 3 might yet pit again. Bottas does come back past this time. Hamilton now just outside that magical 1 second window, and Ocon is still 3.5 seconds back. So we'll just go back up to standard and make sure we hang on to Bottas's coattails. And we are into the final 10 lap. Well, we're not. The race leaders are. Well, we are actually, because they've just ticked over to 42. Lap 42. We're into the final 10 laps of this race. I hope you're enjoying this race, everybody, in this stream. We've got a lapped car coming up ahead. That's always fun. We both get past, and will we go past the Alpha? No, we won't, not this time. Hamilton has dropped back a little bit that time around. We're still pushing on the fuel, and we're still okay. Probably push with Ocon as well, actually. See if he can close the gap. It's now down to just 3 seconds. Up to Hamilton, who's dropped back to 2 seconds from Alonso. And back on board with Alonso as he looks up the inside of Bottas. Will we get the run this time? We will. Thank you very much. That's 5th place. There's no point trying to escape because we just can't. Looking back at Hamilton now, he's dropped back to 2 seconds off. Ocon is... What's his lap like this time around? Not the personal best. Bottas with a personal best middle sector. Ocon and Hamilton the same. What's everybody's tyres saying? We probably can't push Alonso's anymore because he's got the lowest of everyone in our sort of group. Because we had to put that burst on to close the gap when Hamilton was behind Magnussen. That's just going to come back to hurt us a little bit at the moment. We can't push on the tyres right now, but we don't need to because we've got DRS. So the DRS is very powerful. We'll just keep hanging in there with Bottas, who hasn't come back past. Again, it takes him a couple of laps, I think, to get back through. He's right alongside this time around. There we go. And Hamilton just saw in the background there. Bottas overtakes Alonso. We were on board for that one. And more lapped traffic. So this would be, I think, the Aston Martin of Sebastian Vettel. We're just beginning to get close to using up the sort of excess fuel we have. What is Ocon up to? He's now just 2.5 seconds behind Hamilton. And Alonso and Bottas again side by side. Alonso and Bottas pass the Aston Martin, which is a lap down. So we've got 4 laps to go after the completion of this one. Got 40% tyres for Alonso. Will we make it with tyres? %39% now for Alonso, but then again, Sainz and Verstappen have got similar sort of tyre life left. Here we go. Up the inside. Not this time. What's the gap between Ocon and Hamilton? It's back up to 2.7. I don't think he's going to be catching that Mercedes, but he's going to finish ahead of George Russell for a second race in a row, providing he doesn't repeat his spin on the final lap in Bahrain. Alonso, though, hunting consecutive 5th place finishes and best of the rest. I mean, surely this would have to go down as one of Alonso's best ever drives, maybe the best ever drive anyone's ever done in a Grand Prix car. We'll have to wait and see what he says after the race. Of course, you don't actually get that in this game. Unfortunately, we don't get any sort of driver press statements or anything. Russell now 4 seconds off of Ocon, and that lockup completely ruining his race. He's not made any progress since then. I don't know if it's in the game, but maybe he has a flat spot. Let's use our imagination there. So yeah, Alonso just about probably going to hang on for tyres. So this final straight here, we're gonna have to hit it like attack, overtake or just deploy the whole thing. I think. In fact, we're going to go into 5th place now. Alonso said, "No, I'm not waiting for the last lap." Ocon, you can just see him in the background there. So yeah, we should be absolutely fine on the tyres. Hamilton won't catch us. We're on to the final lap. Well, at least Charles Leclerc is. Oops, we've gone into time 16 mode. And here comes Bottas. He's going to switch to the inside. Alonso defends it. So we're still going to deploy and everything. So we'll push Ocon to attack. Oh, we did that last time and he spun off. So let's hope lightning doesn't strike twice. Here we go with Alonso's. Leclerc has won the race. Sainz finishes second. Can we hang on for P5? Not neutral. We want to attack. Bottas is having a look. It's going to be a sprint to the line. Can we hang on? Fernando Alonso gets out of the final corner and finishes in 5th place. Excellent stuff from the Spaniard
We had the good car,
Alonso 5th.
so we deserve these double points. Good job, everyone.
And it is double points. Esteban
Well
Ocon
managed.
comes home in 8th place. Not the result we kind of hoped for, but we've actually moved forward
so
with
that is
both
the
cars.
checkered
So
flag.
excellent work.
Good job.
Really happy with that result.
Hard work paying off there, right there.
Pretty pleased with that.
Normal in-lap procedures, please.
All right. Well, 5th and 8th. That's more very useful championship points for us. Oh, it's a shame that Alonso didn't do one of his funky dances on the Alpine there. Bit of a throwback. What's going on here? We're very happy with double points. It won't let me skip, so we're just stuck watching this. We'll just have to suffer through it, unfortunately. There we go. Okay, so let's see how the driver standings look. It's 2 out of 2 for Charles Leclerc, 52 points out of 52. I mean, this can't be real, is it? Because it's Ferrari getting things right on the track. Alonso to 20 points in 5th in the championship. Hamilton just behind. Ocon stays 7th, 10 points to his name. Bottas a point behind. Russell has 6 and is 9th. Magnussen and Gasly round out the point scorers. Constructors, we see our lead over Mercedes reduced a little bit. Actually, no, it's grown. Sorry, because it was 16 versus 12, wasn't it? It's now grown to 10 points. There we go. So we've outscored them by 6. Lovely stuff. P3 in the constructors with Alpine at the moment. The experience comes in. Nothing for Oscar Piastri. Yeah. And then we get our sponsor results in and everything. That, I think, will bring to an end an excellent stream episode. So, another P5 for Fernando Alonso. 8th place this time for Esteban Ocon. We've got some manufacturing in the works. We've got some design stuff going on. All looking good ahead of the Australian Grand Prix, which will be on the next stream. So join me for that. Thanks so much for joining me. Remember to follow if you don't already, then you can be first to be notified when I do go live. Follow me on Twitter at 5_red_lights. On Instagram, 5redlights. You can find the podcast on all podcast platforms. You can find it on YouTube. So just search 5redlights F1 podcast. And yeah, I've had a great time. I hope you've enjoyed it too. So thanks again for joining me. I'll see you for the Australian Grand Prix. Not quite sure when that stream will come around. I'm just about a week away from moving house, so we'll wait and see. But once I'm settled there, hopefully the streams will be very consistent and we can build some momentum with Alpine. We've started really well and it's all going very, very nicely, isn't it? Surely something's just around the corner to destabilise us, like our star driver leaving for another team. But that's for another day. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you when the 5 red lights go out. Bye for now.